Wednesday, we chat with a local author, publishing industry stakeholders, and lovers of the written word. I am Jewel Green, your host, and today we have with us the amazing Dr. Muli Amaye, and she's here to talk to us about one book in particular of her many books. Dr. Amaye, welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's wonderful to have you here.
Thank
I've
you.
been looking at your work for quite some time, and you have a retreat coming up. There's so much good stuff we're going to be talking about today. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you may be viewing from, Trinidad and Tobago, Dominica, Curacao, on the, you're online watching, welcome to Book Club Corner, and we're here chatting with Dr. Muli Amaye. She is the author of several books, and we're going to be just getting into her work today. She is a novelist and a lecturer. She's the coordinator of UWI's Masters in Fine Arts Creative Writing program. She's the author of A House with No Angels, Josephine's Bed, and that can be found in Midnight and Indigo Literary Journal, and Fish Scales from Glimpse the Anthology, printed by P. Paltry, and so many more.
So many.
Listen, we in Book Club Corner, we do a little wine, a little chat, sip and chat.
Sounds
right?
good to me.
So cheers to you.
Cheers.
To be here with us. We are today having some rosemary wine, and this wine is really special to me because we know rosemary has some healing properties, seasoning properties, right? It helps with memories, so they say, and so this wine must be, and hair growth. This wine must be good for you. And we're going to be doing the 5 S's of wine tasting, where we look at the wine. So we look at the clarity, and this is a really nice color. Ooh, we swirl the wine because we're looking for the legs. That's the sugar content. This one isn't very sweet. Excellent. And then we sniff the wine. It's very aromatic. I love this one.
So fragrant.
And then the best part, we sip and we savor. This wine, it surprises you. You smell it and you're expecting one thing, and then it hits your palate and you're like, wait, what happened?
It's really full. It's beautiful. It's kind of light, something that you could drink during the daytime, but it's also, it's got body. It's got body.
Yeah. I'm seeing me drinking this wine, having some ceviche. Something to cut across a little of the sweetness, some lime flavor. Yeah, I could see me having a fish meal with this, a fillet and some vegetables, some provision, and this one.
Very nice.
Thank you so much, LLW Exotic Wines. That's Luke Lashley. He's been sponsoring us for the last few weeks, and we have been really enjoying his wines. Listen, we're going on a quick break. Get your wines, get your snacks. If it's too early for you, get some water, as we say, get some government juice, right? And come right back with your snacks. We're going to be getting into the book by Dr. Muli Amaye. See you in a few minutes. Okay, good.
TNTech is pleased to advise that its Roxborough Service Center has reopened. Starting Monday, 10th March, customers can once more visit the Roxborough Administrative Building to pay TNTech bills, request new connections, and more. TNTech, powering the nation into the next
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With AMPLIA TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with AMPLIA's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 gigabyte fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With AMPLIA, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. AMPLIA. Do more, live more.
And we're back for Club Corner right here in beautiful Scarborough, Tobago, and we're here with Dr. Muli Amaye, and we're chatting with her about her book, A House with No Angels. Dr. Muli, tell us about this book. Why the name? Because, you know, angels are supposed to be protective and really helping us out as human beings, and well, that's the story that we're told, and this house has none.
Correct. So I actually had an argument with my publisher about this because he said you shouldn't have a negative in your title. But for me, Virginia Woolf said that for a woman to write, she has to kill the angel in the house. And so there's this expectation that women within a house they're the providers, they're the carers, they do everything. My 3 characters in this book, they're fully rounded people who don't. They have their problems, they have their failures, and they are not angels.
So that's the take. You're looking at, are these female characters?
They are.
So we're looking at, you know, women who are not on a pedestal.
Correct.
We're looking at the raw, unvarnished version of who we are.
Of just allowing women to be
human.
Yes, exactly.
I love it.
Yes.
You know, it's really difficult, I have found, to live up to this expectation that, you know, you have to be the caregiver, you have to be concerned, you have to help. You don't really have a life of your own.
Exactly, that's what society puts on us. There is an expectation that as women we have to do particular things because it's expected of us, and it happens all around the world. There's just a place for women, and I disagree with that.
Yeah. You know, as you're saying that, I have a question. By extension, and the opposite side of it, since women's roles seem to be prescribed, and there's a fight, there's a struggle that happens for you to free yourself, and then to be able, not everywhere, obviously, there are exceptions, but we find generally this is what is happening. And, you know, you have to struggle to free yourself to be able to live the fullest you. If perhaps you don't fit the bill of the prescription, right? Because there are those who do fit it.
Yes.
There are those who fit it, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Correct.
But do you think, from your experience perspective, that men, on the opposite side of it, also have a prescription that they themselves too struggle out of? You know, would that be true?
I think so, yes, because the expectation of men, obviously things are changing now with social media and the way men are being and the way men are coming across on some social media. There's kind of 2 sides. There's an almost feminized version of men who want to be doing the dancing and whatever. And I think that there's nothing at all wrong with that.
Yes.
And then you have the other side where there's the men that say, No, women need to go back into the kitchen because if they're not women, we can't be men. A lot of blame is put onto women for the way men are or for the way that men act, whether it's mothers, sisters, wives, girlfriends. A lot of blame is put there. And I think men struggle. I do think that men struggle. And I think that men have to deal with that. I don't think that that's on women to deal with it. Just like women have always struggled and we have dealt with it.
Yeah. I just wanted to, you know, when we look at it, I just wanted to identify that, because sometimes that's how I feel. I feel like we're both struggling in our own little lanes, in our own little spaces, as you know, as we try to put gender roles on each other, and we each struggling. So I say, stop it.
Yes.
Yeah, let's remove these gender biases, stereotypes. You have to be, you must be, men should be, women have to, you know. Let's just try to be the best us.
Just be who you are, and what works for you, what makes sense for you.
Why did you decide to write this book?
So I wanted to write this book because I find that within families, first of all, I think that women are the holders of traditions. Women keep things going. They keep the status quo.
Yeah.
Some women don't like to hear that, but it's what we do. And I find that within families there can be a lot of hidden things. Women don't necessarily want to talk about things that they did in the past because they don't want to pass that on to their daughters. Sometimes they want to hide traumas that they've been through. Sometimes they feel shame, and so they don't want to talk about what happened, or they want to hide behind something else. And I think that this damages the generations. I'm all for openness and honesty. Encourage your children to ask you things and tell them truthfully. Children are resilient, they can take truths. And so I wrote this book, I suppose looking into my own family, partly, but also friends who've told me things like, I didn't know this about my family, I didn't know that I had a brother, I didn't know I had a sister, I didn't know. There's just things that we don't know, and we keep secrets in families.
Yeah. Our secrets, do they serve any purpose, any real productive purpose? I mean, they serve the purpose for the person who is obviously keeping the secret, but do they serve a wider purpose for the family, for the generation, and then for the community? When we do that, when we hide things?
I don't think so. I think it's damaging, because if you're keeping secrets, kids have a way of asking questions, or people have a way of asking questions that pinpoints something that you don't want to bring out. So you might end up telling a lie.
Yeah.
And then these things compound. And you read so many things. I love Reddit stories. And so you read things, and it's like, these people have, they've hidden all of this and they don't want to let the family know because they're ashamed, or because this happened to them, or they don't want to know the kids to know where they came from, or all sorts of things. And I think it's very damaging.
Yeah.
Because we're intuitive, and we kind of know when something isn't real, and that's damaging.
Yeah. Do we need to be perfect?
No.
Do we as human beings, even as women, because I found growing up, developing, becoming more myself, you have to circumnavigate a lot of, I thought you knew better.
Yes.
How would I know better? Did we have this already in class? Did we do this already? This is the first time I'm encountering this. How would I instinctively know better? I don't know anything about this. And nobody has spoken to me about it.
And we're supposed to know instinctively?
Yes.
How?
Because that X chromosome, that little extra kick there, has all knowledge.
Yes.
Nobody told you, right? It has all the knowledge. That when the men have the X and the Y, right? That little piece they're missing there, it has everything on it.
Apparently.
Yeah, it came with everything. So when you're missing it, you get to abscond and say, I didn't know. And everybody's, oh, it's okay. We know you didn't know. And you, how dare you not know better and do everything perfectly. Is that something you found dealing with in your book that your characters dealt with in a healthy way?
Not at first. My characters are deeply flawed, all of them. So it's a grandmother, the daughter and the granddaughter. And I looked at them generationally, the kind of things that grandmother would have put up with in the 40s and the 50s are not something that the child born in the 60s and 70s would put up with. And then you get the millennial child, oh gosh. They're looking back at that grandma and saying, no, that's not a real thing. That's not how life is. So, yeah.
I think the millennials are the one who came up with we're not cleaning dashing bush anymore. Because we have this habit because you're born and grew up in England, right?
Yes.
So we in the Caribbean, and you may have encountered it, but we in the Caribbean have this habit. We pick the dashing bush, which is the top of the dashing, and we have to strip the outside part, and they're scratching your hand because you have to. And the millennials like, we're not doing that. Throw it in the pot. As a matter of fact, we're not even cutting it up. Roll it up and throw it in the pot. It's going to melt down anyway. We're not doing that.
And that's a talk on society, really, isn't it? Like quick fixes, do things quickly, minutes, size bites, and just quick.
So I think, when we look at the generations, that's where we are today, rolling up your dashing bush, just so how you take it out the pack and throw it in the pot, because we're not stripping it and we're not cutting it up. And millennials, we'll get back to you. But yeah, the generation moves so far. Yes. Did characters in your book, as each generation moved, did they feel linked? Did they relate to each other still?
They did. They thought that they didn't. They each felt that the other didn't understand them. But as it gets towards the end and there's a resolution, it's like, okay, we are one.
Yeah.
We are doing the same thing. We are wanting the same thing.
Yeah, so, I like that. Yeah. What got you into writing? What, a lot of people, writing, it was just part of me. What's your story? How you got into it?
I never thought of myself as a writer. I didn't go to university until I was older, in my 30s. And before that, I remember writing stories at school and getting an A. I'm thinking, I think it was the only thing I ever got an A in. And then working in jobs in offices and having to write letters and really getting creative with those letters to the point of getting pulled into the boss's office. Yeah. And then when I started university, I did a creative writing class and something just clicked.
Really?
I had stories to tell and I wanted to tell them and I could tell them.
So writing has always been part of your life. I mean, writing is part of all of our lives, right? It is something you have to learn from first year.
Yes.
But in terms of crafting stories, because that's fiction, but in terms of writing nonfiction, which is what you're talking about, office work, your letters, your memoirs, so you feel like this is part of you expressing yourself through writing.
Absolutely. I wouldn't say that I've always been a writer, but I've always been a reader. And I think that is the thing that's fed into my writing. I think that's why writing feels natural to me, because I was a very lonesome kid. I spent a lot of time in my room reading. That's what I did. And I really think that shaped the way that I became a storyteller. And I still had to learn things. just because I could tell a story. I mean, we're always telling stories. We're sitting here talking, we're telling each other stories.
Yes.
But to get those down onto paper, I think that when I have my students come to me or I have participants come to me, I meet them where they are, and I don't say that we all have to write in this way. It's like, that's how you write. Okay, how can we make that better? How can we make your characters more real? How can we make this setting pop off the page? So there are things to learn, but you can't learn that talent, if that makes sense.
Yes. So you went from you yourself being a writer to being a teacher of people who want to write better.
Yes.
How did that happen?
I think after I did my first degree in English studies, then I went on to do a master's in creative writing that I got a studentship for, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to do it. So that was really something. And then after that, I went into the community. And I started running workshops, working with other organisations as an artist, but as a writer-artist. And it just grew from there. It's just something that I really enjoy doing. It feeds my soul to see people put something down and then they go, I wrote that?
Yes.
That's fantastic. It's fantastic.
You know, a lot of writers, we know that feeling. That feeling where you reread your work, something you've written years ago, and you're cleaning your bookshelf, or you're cleaning a folder, and you dust it off, and you're like, wait, I real good enough.
Yes.
I ain't not bad at all.
Exactly.
I wrote this. Like, where did this come from? Do you have those feelings from time to time when you read your work?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Sometimes I forget. I picked up a notebook the other day because I was in the middle of a story that I was writing, and I always write by hand. That's the first thing that I do.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, I remember this story, let me go and read. And I was reading, I was like, I don't remember writing that.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, I like this.
Yeah. I like that. It makes you feel introspective, retrospective of yourself and your thoughts. And I think that a lot of people need to keep their writing a little bit more and look back on
Yes.
it.
I always advise,
Yeah.
keep everything, even when you take something out of a story, have a little folder there and keep it in there because you never know.
True. Listen, we're going on a quick break. We'll be back with Dr. Muli Amaye, and she's going to talk to us about Campus Lit Week coming up. So don't go far. We'll be back with you in a few minutes.
This is
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up and look, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it once again. Look up and look. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
The Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm. On Easter weekend 2025, Tobago. From 17th to 20th, the rhythm, the soul of Tobago. On Thursday, April 17th, get ready for a worship experience at the Shore Park Complex with Melodies from Heaven. Melodies from Heaven. Then on Saturday, 19th April, immerse yourself in the sun, sea, and sand at the Buku Seafood and Jazz Festival, featuring legends of R&B. On Sunday, 20th April, we bring the curtains down at Parade Grounds, Dwight York Stadium for Fusion. Get your tickets on islandetickets.com now or visit TobagoFestivalsCommission.com for more info. Tobago Rhythm and Soul Festival 2025. Feel the beat. Embrace the calm.
rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can't beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
Back to Book Club Corner, where we're here chatting with the wonderful Dr. Muli Amaye about her books and her writings. But before we go any further, I want to thank Luke Lashley for his amazing wine, as well as my other supporter, who is Neve at Eye for Design, right there in Lowlands. The beautiful arrangement we have here that you're seeing, this has been done by Mr. Neve at Eye for Design, and this one is a particularly favorite one of mine because I can dust it off and put it back out ever so often. He does some live pieces as well, so if you like live flowers, real live flowers, whether it's for your birthday, a dinner, a wedding, he decorates, listen, beautifully. Give Neve at Eye for Design right here in Lowlands, Tobago a call, as well as Mr. Luke Lashley of LLW Exotic Wines, and get your wines and your decor done today. So thank you guys for supporting this show. We're going to be talking about this book glimpse.
Okay.
And listen, in my little research, I saw that a book club that I am with, that's Rebel Woman Lit out of Jamaica, they had a read of your book and they also have it in their store. So I was like, how did I not know? Glimpse, this is the cover. And we have some of your book covers already. So glimpse this book cover that you have, which is half a face, half a hair, very Vogue, right?
Yes.
Did you come up with this book cover yourself?
No. So this book was edited by Leonie Ross, and I have a story in there.
Yes.
It's an anthology. So we had nothing to do with the cover. I was just very grateful that she accepted my story and put it in there.
Tell us about this book and about your story in the book.
Okay, so the book is speculative fiction, and this excites me because I think as Black writers, there is an expectation that we will write about particular things, and it will be tragic and it will be painful. We're not always allowed to just be on the page. And what's exciting about this book is that it's speculative fiction, so we can do anything that we want, and we can be anything that we want on the page. And I think the way that Leonie Ross edited this and the way that People Tree Press was so open to allowing this to be is just amazing. The story that I wrote, it's actually about my mom dying. I sat with her for 2 weeks in the hospital in 2017. And I didn't know until after I'd written the story that that's what it was about. But it's not a sad story.
Yes.
And it wasn't sad when I was writing it because fantastical things were happening within the story. And it was only afterwards that I realized, okay, I actually experienced the feeling of that when I was sitting in the hospital talking with my mum. So.
I find a lot of writers are exploring a relationship between life and loss in their stories, and it comes up unexpectedly sometimes. Sometimes it's as they say in Barbados, it's purpose work, right? And they meant to do it that way. But I'm finding that cathartic quality that writing brings to your life is helping a lot of people navigate loss. How did you find your story? Because you're saying, you didn't know what the story was about until after you finished writing it. How did you find the story, the content, the package in terms of navigating loss and looking at it? How did you feel you treated with it when you looked back at it?
Okay, so I looked at the person as a whole person. She's an older woman, but I gave her a whole personality. I gave her a way of being, a way of thinking, a way of not being perfect that was acceptable. So we saw all her flaws. We heard her thoughts, and they weren't angelic at all. We heard the things that she was ashamed of, the things that she'd hidden, and what they did to her and her body because she couldn't acknowledge things. And for me, that's just being human. So I wanted this old lady, because quite often we take old people and we think they're just old people, and we forget they've lived a life. They've lived a whole life.
Yeah.
They've been at the stage that we're at, things that we don't know, and they're whole people.
And they're still living.
Yes.
We tend to package it like that. They've lived they've had a good life.
And they're still living. Your spirit doesn't age.
No.
And I think I've found that as I've gotten older, because I can feel the same now as I did when I was 20 years old or when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
Because my spirit doesn't change. The body does, because it has to.
Yeah.
But your spirit doesn't change, and old people are the same.
That's such an amazing thing that you said, and so valuable to note. I remember when I turned 20, my little sister, she's a few years younger than I am, and she looked up at me, her eyes were googly in her head, and she said, "How does it feel to be 20? Like I was on the verge of death, right?
Yes.
I was like, what is wrong with you? I feel like me. There is no thing that you wake up and say, oh, I feel like 20. I feel like 50. What is it? It is the first time you're there. So how do you know what it would feel like for you to identify it as some milestone that I feel 40, I feel 30. What do we know?
We absolutely don't.
No. So you feel like yourself, and that's the most important. Do you feel like people are being forced to age? Are we allowed to, as we say, feel like myself? Are we allowed to do that?
No, we are expected to be a certain way at a certain age. So when you're 65, don't go walking down the street in those little shorts, because it's not really becoming of your age.
Yeah.
I will wear whatever I want to, whenever I want to. When I'm 90, you're going to see me in those little shorts at a fete, winding up.
I love it. Listen, whatever my knees and my hip could do,
Exactly.
are doing. Okay?
Exactly.
And I like that. We have to be allowed to be ourselves.
Yes.
And, in the discussion with you, what I'm seeing coming through as a theme is that question, will I be allowed to be me? Whether it's a gender issue or whether it's an age issue. What box are they putting me in today? And will I be allowed to be me? Will I be around people who will allow me to be me? But more importantly, I think the most important question is, will you allow you to be you? Or are you going to fall into this trap and do what everybody wants you to do and, be a puppet?
Exactly.
Readers, are you going to be you today? You have that unique opportunity, as they say. There's no other you. You're the only you that there is. And are you going to be that person? Wholly, fully live and breathe in that being in that soul that you've been given to do the things that you want to do. And many persons out there want to be writers.
Yes.
And
Yes.
they have their, I'm looking at you through the camera. You have those works set aside and you're telling yourself, no, it's just for me alone, just for me at home. You know, it's not that great. I don't know what I'll do. Are you going to allow you to be you? Are you going to allow that writing to come out and to play with the world and to share your skills with the world and your view and perception? I challenge you today. We're going on a quick break. Something to think about while you're bringing your snacks and your drink back to the TV to come and chill with us. Don't go far. We'll be back in a few minutes. We're here with Dr. Muli Amaye. I'm really enjoying this.
Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com. Up today.
Dr. Muli Amaye right here on Book Club Corner in beautiful Scarborough, Tobago. We could not be at a better location. And listen, this is my favorite time of the show. We are going to be read to aloud. So put up your feet, get yourself comfy. Dr. Amaye is going to be reading from her story in the anthology, Glimpse. Ready?
I'm ready. Fish scales. When Chi-Chi woke up that morning, she suspected it wasn't going to be an ordinary day. Partly because the light was already seeping under the bottom of the room's 2 short curtains, and she never woke this late. Partly because the pain in her body, her forever companion, was gone. but mostly because of the 2 large fish scales glittering on her bedside table. They were a sign. Chi-Chi moved her head slowly, testing her new body. Not one pain touched a muscle or a joint. She laughed loudly. Her rickety headboard banged against the wall with each chuckle, making her laugh harder. Thump, thump. Delighted, she began moving her legs under the heavy covers, kicking and then flinging the covers off with abandon. Thump, thump. The door flew open. It was Stella, her dedicated carer. Lord Jesus God Almighty, what is this now, Miss Chi-Chi? I was thinking you have a man in here who was taking a fit. What a thing now. Chi-Chi stopped laughing, her mouth wide enough to show the gummy gaps at the back. She pulled her legs together and smoothed the ruffled sheet back over them before the girl could reach out. Chi-Chi rearranged her face, letting it settle back into its crevices, forehead to chin. It's a good job I wasn't entertaining, banging into my room like that. No respect, you young people. None at all, at all. Come now, Miss Chi-Chi, your entertaining days long gone. It's my job to make sure you're okay. Chi-Chi dug deep for her most withering look to fling at the uppity girl. But she couldn't find one. There was an unfamiliar feeling of lightness pulsing through her body. Pushing herself up on frail arms, her triceps hung like old net curtains. She swung her legs over the side of the bed and searched for her slippers. She could feel Stella's eyes on her bowed head, glanced up to see the girl gaping. Chi-Chi couldn't help chuckle again. When was the last time she swung anything? Go and boil the kettle, there's a good girl. I'm fancying a nice cup of tea. Stella hesitated. Close your mouth, dear, you're causing a draught. Slippers in place, Chi-Chi slid easily from the bed. She glanced at the fish scales on her bedside table before striding into the bathroom. And that was the start of the best day she could ever remember having.
It sounds like an amazing day. What are these fish scales about?
I don't know. You have to read the story.
I love it.
Go get the book.
Get glimpse.
the book.
I'm in love with Chi-Chi already.
Yes, she's quite marvellous.
Yes. She said, close your mouth. You're causing a drama. Listen, as we say here in the Caribbean, you nearly swallow my whole. I love it. What made you write this story, Fish Scales?
This is silly. I woke up one morning and there were 2 round pieces of plastic on my bedside table. And I don't know where they were from, but I just remember looking at them and thinking, oh, they look like fish scales. And then there's a book by William Faulkner called As I Lay Dying. And there's one chapter which is simply, the young boy goes, my mother is a fish. And so I connected those 2 and Chi-Chi was born.
I tell you, the mind of a writer. We string obscure pieces and details together and come up with life.
Yes.
It's amazing. When we talk about your writing, we have to get into the work that you're doing with Huey and Campus Lit Week.
Yes.
Yeah? Tell us about that. It's coming up soon.
It is. Campus Lit Week is the highlight of my year with the MFA students. So each year we will have a writer in residence that will come and join us. This year we have Ingrid Passau, who wrote Love After Love and the love songs of Boise Sing.
Oh,
yes.
That I know.
So that's really exciting. So what happens, we have a week from the 24th to 28th of March. It's normally the end of March. And the students arrange for lunchtime readings. So we will go in the Alma Jordan Library on some days. And then other days people will send in their writing. So if there are any writers out there that would like to feature in Campus Lit Week, please get in touch. And then the students will also do interviews with different people that they find interesting, Caribbean writers or Caribbean thinkers. They'll do panels where they'll discuss what it means to them to be a writer. And we put all of this on a website. And we had to do this quickly during the pandemic. We had Varney Capildeo for our writer in residence, and she arrived on the Friday. On the Monday, we were on lockdown. And we were like, but what we're going to do about Campus Lit Week? And we did everything online just one time. And we've continued putting it online because it has a wider audience. And
so it's a hybrid kind of thing happening.
It is, yes. But everything will be on there. And then on the Friday evening, we have wine.
Yeah.
And now I've been introduced to this wine. I will be looking somewhere else this year.
Definitely.
And the writer in residence they'll do the gala event. So there'll be an hour of them reading, talking to us, giving us insights into what they do and who they are. And then we just all get together and snack and drink and talk writing, talk literature.
This sounds like I'm coming.
Come, please, you are invited.
This sounds perfect. Book lovers, readers out there, Campus Lit Week is coming in March.
It is, yes.
Get ready for Campus Lit Week. That's in March, as well as Booker's List Fest is happening in the first week of May 1st to 4th. So you have two amazing events to look forward to. They're both in Trinidad. However, if you're in Tobago, you can go to the Campus Lit Week website.
You can, yes.
And find all the content and share it without even leaving your home, right? You don't have to buy a plane ticket or a boat ticket, right? Or teleport yourself to Trinidad. You can stay right here in Tobago and enjoy Campus Lit Week. And I know that there are a lot of events from Booker's that are going to be happening in terms of being online as well. You can participate in some of those online, but most of it is going to be down at the Port of Spain Library. We want to thank Caribbean Book Marketing Hub for supporting the show, and we want to share some of their services and work with you. There is the author directory, and you, as an author, you need to get on this directory. If you want persons to know who you are, about your work, where we can find you, get yourself listed on this author directory. You can scan the QR code or use the link below, but get on to them. And if you're looking for this Caribbean Book Marketing Hub, you can find them on social media, Instagram, and on Facebook. As well as they have quite a number of book marketing services being offered, and you can get in on this. So you can get your book launch done, media outreach and PR campaigns. If you would like to get your book tours done, trips around the whole of Trinidad and Tobago sharing your work, you need a Goodreads book review campaign done, your author website and branding sorted out, and a book marketing plan. Get in touch with Caribbean Book Marketing Hub at 761-8790. And we want to thank Caribbean Book Marketing Hub for getting Book Club Corner together. They're the ones who are behind the scenes sorting us out. Dr. Muli, tell us about some advice. What would you want to leave with the authors, prospective authors, before you go? What advice do you think would be valuable for those looking on who want to get into writing or who are already writing?
The advice I can give is to write.
Yeah.
Not to spend too much time thinking, but to write. Quite often at the beginning of a workshop or when I'm teaching, I will have students take their pen, put it on the paper and just write without thinking. And if you don't know what to write, I don't know what to write.
Yeah.
And eventually your thoughts will flow. And that just gets all the fuss out of your head so that you can be more creative when you come to sit down and say, okay, this is the story that I'm going to tell. But also, in between Campus Lit Week and Bocas Lit Fest, right here in Tobago, there is the Right Space Writing Retreat in Charlottesville.
Yep.
So for anybody who is writing in Tobago, anybody who wants to start writing, anybody who has that interest, get in touch with us, because we're going to be here from the 4th to the 7th of April up in Charlottesville, staying in the Man of War cottages, and it's going to be a whole community of writing, of workshops. We feed you. We give you Pilates and meditation in the morning to set up your day correctly. We'll give you a one-on-one for your writing and meet you where you are, and you will meet a community, and you'll bring together those who are interested in what you're doing, you're interested in what they're doing, and it just creates that writing community, which I think is very important.
Listen, this isn't your first retreat.
It is not my first retreat, no.
Tell us about that retreat experience, the one you had before. Tell us what people are going to come and experience at the second retreat.
Okay, so we learned things from our first retreat, which was last year in the same place in Charlottesville. Manor cottages are very basic, but that's what we needed.
Yes.
You need a bed with clean sheets on it and a clean apartment, because you're going to be outside, you're going to be writing, you're going to be pulling seine with the fishermen, you're going to be experiencing the beautiful outdoors, nature at its best, and getting inspiration from everything that's around you. You sit on the deck to do your writing and you hear the waves hitting the shore. It's a very nurturing space. It's a very non-judgmental space. You bring yourself and your writing exactly where you are, and we meet you there. And last year was just so beautiful. People came together from all different communities, from all different spaces, from different styles of writing, and they encouraged and held each other and brought each other to a space where everyone was happy to share their work. We had a little gala event on the last evening where we sat around and read the work that we'd done. It was just wonderful. It's very nurturing.
It sounds so amazing. I wish I was there right now. My good friend Earth was at that retreat. Earth, I saw your pictures. You never told me you was going. This year, I'm going to be there. Listen, as writers, creatives, we tend to be taking out of this vessel, not putting back in a lot.
This puts back in. It feeds your soul. There's just something so special about Charlottesville. It's the peace, it's the quiet, it's the nature. The sea's just there. I go about 4 or 5 times a year because I need my soul to be fed, so that I can then go out and teach, and I can go out and write, and I can do what I have to do.
Listen, people, get to this retreat. Start putting aside your monies, right? This is when? April what?
It's April the 4th to the 7th.
April the 4th to the 7th. You have a good few paychecks in between, right? And just in case you get help with your finances, you have some time to get your monies together. Listen, count your coins and put them aside, right? Get there. If you are a writer, a prospective writer, this is the place for you. And I always tell people Tobago is a creative hub.
Yes, absolutely.
It's like a vortex.
Absolutely.
Get here. If even not for this retreat, let us say you're like, darn it, I'm gonna miss that one.
There'll be another one.
There'll be another one.
There will be another one for sure.
Listen, it's coming up, and get some time stored away in your calendar to be in Tobago. Whether you're going to be writing, doing poetry, you're into drama, you're into sculpting, you're a visual artist, whatever your creativity may be, get to Tobago and get some of that creative juice flowing here in the creative hub that is Tobago. We're going to be closing off now, but before we go, Dr. Amaye, tell people where we can get your amazing books to buy.
Okay, so you can get most of my books at Paper-Based Bookshop, which is in Trinidad. And it's part of the Bocas Lit Fest building in Alcazar Street.
The Writers' Centre.
Yes, the Writers' Centre. You can get it on Amazon, for sure. And other little bookshops here and there, I have found my books.
Fantastic. And they'll soon be in Tobago. Don't worry, right? If you want to pick up a physical book, we're going to get them into some bookstores in Tobago. Mansa Bookstore in Calder Hall. They love to get some local books, so we're going to be getting some of these books in there. Before we go, obviously, you know what we do on Book Club Corner. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Cheers to you, Dr.
Thank
Amaye,
you.
and cheers to you, viewers, wherever you may be. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to each other. And as they say, keep reaching for the stars. And we will see you next week, Wednesday, where we chat with another amazing author right here on Book Club Corner in beautiful Scarborough, Tobago. See you next week.